We also have to talk about Strut.
One of my favorites.
You know, I've had issues with Cara on Idol, but damn,
she's an amazing woman.
I know. You told me off camera last time.
You're like,
give her a break. She's a smart.
I think she was just on her best behavior, and we all need to like a break sometimes. Everybody's learning things when they're doing something for the first time, and I think she's just, she was like, I'm on TV now. I'm used to being a writer in a studio. This is different, We had a great time writing that song, and really actually wrote it while bonding and talking about the experience of being on TV for the first time. And like, we had a glass of wine and just started chatting, and Greg, the producer of the song, had this beat that he had developed and some chord progressions, and we started playing it just on a loop over and over again. And she was like, I can just see you like strutting around stage to this song. And I was like, yeah, because she had presented me with this award a couple weeks before, the Young Hollywood Awards. And during her little speech that she gave before she gave me the award, she said, like, he's got this strut thing. And I was like, that was really sweet, Cara. Thank you for saying that. And she said, yeah, I can see you doing that. And I was like, well, why don't we call the song that? Strut. And she was like, yeah. And so we started writing it on like a literal path, like the obvious of it being just kind of sexy rock star strut thing. And then I was like, well, what do we find like a deeper meaning in this? Like, what is it about? Like, what does it really mean? And like, what I said, I want it to be empowerment. I want to like kind of encourage people to like feel sexy, And so that's where we went with the song, It
can turn like your sidewalk into your own personal runway.
Yeah, it should feel. I think when you're listening to music that makes you feel like you want to like dress up and go out and feel hot and powerful, like that's great music. Even if the lyric doesn't seem all that deep, it still is effective.
Yeah.
It still affects you. It still changes your mood.
Darling, let your hair down. Show me what you're working with and let me see it.
That bridge where you're saying, darling, let your hair down, show me what you're working with, and let me see you strut. It slows down so much and so suddenly. You know what you're gonna do at the end of it. You know you're gonna like burst out with the word strut, but it's really effective. I think it somehow makes you feel. You're like, oh, something's gonna happen here, and it's
that was the really interesting thing is the one thing that Cara and I didn't get to was the bridge.
Really?
We had written the whole song, we didn't get to the bridge, and then we were done for the day for that session, and I came back in a couple weeks later, and Greg and I were like, well, we need a bridge, and we just kind of we wrote that bridge literally in 20 minutes. He sat down at the piano and wrote these chords, and then I just wrote the lyrics and the vocal on it, and it just happened just magically. I'll be your mirror is the first line in that bridge, which is my favorite part of it. It just happened. It was really cool. And I remember sitting there and I'm like, we should just drop the bottom out of it and make it just glam, piano, and it was cool.
It's interesting lyrically too. If you mention that, let me be your mirror. Are there moments where you have to sort of get yourself worked up to do the hair and the strut and get out there, or is it like you wake up in the morning and you're like you're already Adam Lambert?
Doing all this stuff, it's different than how I used to go out and perform, which was more on my own terms, And now it's on my own terms, but it's I have a schedule and I have appearances and I have, all this stuff to think about. So it is hard sometimes to kind of turn my mind off and just be in the moment and make the music. So
right.
But I think I'm doing all right. I think I'm learning. I hope.